Hey, reach up there and pull those belts tight. One more time, you're watching the original Rebels Racing League.
Good evening, race fans, and welcome back to the Late Night Rebels, the original Rebel Racing Late Night Series. Today we're at the virtual Chicagoland Speedway, where it is the season finale to decide which of our top four drivers are going to bring home the prestigious championship. As always, on behalf of Team Goon Squad Broadcasting, my name is James East, bringing you the action at 1080p, 60 frames a second, as we get ready to roll them out for single car qualifying here today. And we will decide who will bring home the championship. We'll get live timing pulled up on the left side of your screen. But tonight, keep an eye out. Dakota Camper, Josh Oswald, Garrett Kinder, and Jeff Paisley are in the top four, and they will decide who brings home the championship. Dakota Camper is currently the winningest driver inside this Final Four with 3 wins and an average finish of 5th. Josh Oswald, Garrett Kinder both have 1 win each. And then Jeff Paisley, who's still in it to try and bring home the championship, is still searching for his first win here today. Going to be very interesting to see how things shake up for our drivers, who can bring home the win. As always, thank you to our viewers from across the world that tune in each and every week, supporting the broadcast, supporting your drivers, as well as supporting your favorite league. This would not be possible without you guys here at home, and we are oh so appreciative to have you on board and be able to hang out with us as we get ready to wrap up this season. I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to happen, as it has been non-stop action from start to beginning with these drivers. As Oswald currently a third on track and qualifying. It'll be interesting to see if he's one of those drivers that can win the chase here tonight, or if it may be somebody else. It's still too tough to call. All these drivers have been just so consistent for the duration of the season. Not quite sure what we're going to see out here today. Who will bring home the top spot? Or who will go back to the hauler with some wadded up machinery early? Right now, it's Chris Reese on top of pole, the number 62 machine. Let's check out and see what Dakota Camper, the number 3 machine, is going to be doing out on track. Camper, last week we had that featured interview with him. Will be interesting to see if he can capitalize on that here in qualifying. I believe he was the fastest driver out in qualifying. And let us know if you're watching along at home, where you tuning in from, who you cheering on. As these drivers go back and watch the broadcast each and every week, Brett Grunwald slides up on the top spot with a 30.44, narrowly edging out Chris Reese. Let's see what Camper can do on his flying lap here today at Chicagoland. And if he'll be able to bring home the top spot, he's got to best a 30.44 to take over pole. His last time by a 30.48 I should say. And Dakota Camper does it with a 30.41. Able to bring home the top spot and qualifying. Other drivers to check out. Garrett Kinder, he's making his way out. His fastest lap so far, a 30.99. Another of the Final Four chase competitors. He's currently 10th on track in qualifying. Let's see if he can get close to Camper with a 30.41. Camper was absolutely moving out there in the Chevrolet. As let's see what it is as Kinder crosses the line. His final qualifying of the season. He will be starting 4th, barring anybody else coming up through the field. Kyle Roberts, a late entry. He goes out for his final laps with only a minute left in qualifying here today. As let's check on Roberts and see what he's doing. Only about 40 seconds left in qualifying. This will be the first time lap. Jeff Paisley making his way out late as well. Jeff Paisley, one of those chase contenders, may be starting from the back here, unable to get through a qualifying session. Not sure what happened, or if maybe Paisley had something going on preventing him from joining qualifying on time. Let's see. He's got 8 seconds. No, Jeff Paisley will not get a time down here today. Kyle Roberts narrowly gets through. He's going to qualify 6th, so it's going to be Bill Stringfellow upsetting the running order in that number 38 machine, taking home the top spot. Now, oddly enough, maybe we do have time, maybe an extended qualifying session. I want to say historically we had 5 minutes out on track for qualifying. Today it looks a little bit different, as now it is a 10-minute qualifying session. So Jeff Paisley not in that large amount of trouble getting ready for this 115-lap main event. So let's see what one of the final playoff drivers to make a qualifying run can do. Eddie Smith has yet to put down a time as well. The number 87 machine, not sure if he's going to be racing with us tonight, as he is a on-again, off-again driver. He is in the racing channel for the original Rebel Racing League, so there's a chance that he makes his way out late to throw a monkey wrench in the 13 drivers that have already qualified. Let's see what Paisley can do this last time by. He's got a 30.6 under his belt. What is going to click off as a pole setting time is a 30.41, and Paisley will do it, a 30.39, edging out Stringfellow and Camper, who are almost identically tied in qualifying. And Jeff Paisley, not Arcadia Motorsports, back number 7, will put it on the top spot here today. Again, it is Dakota Camper, Josh Oswald, Garrett Kinder, and Jeff Paisley that are coming out here today. Jeff Paisley, he's on pole. Dakota Camper starting 3rd. Garrett Kinder will be starting 6th. And then Josh Oswald will be starting 12th on the grid here today. So keep an eye on those 4 drivers, as that is who's going to decide who is the season championship of this late night series, brought to you by the original Rebel Racing League. Been a lot of fun calling all the action for these guys, and looking forward to future seasons with all of our friends that are staying up late on the East Coast and just getting settled in on the West Coast. I'm excited. I hope you are as well. As these drivers will have 5 sets of tires available in this season finale, 2 green-white checker attempts, and there was a rumor of unlimited fast repairs. We're trying to verify that real quickly for our fans at home. And yes, unlimited fast repairs tonight. So that may mean you see a little bit more aggression than we have in the past. I want to say historically, we've had 1, maybe 2 fast repairs available to these drivers. Not the case here today. The season finale, they had to get the series session going up at the last minute. Maybe had some problems with the session. And let's see what's going to happen here. Just a couple of short minutes left in qualifying for these drivers to kind of take a moment to relax, take a second to breathe, and not stress themselves too badly. But they know everything is on the line here. There's no more room for mistakes, no more mulligans, no more do-overs. This is their one chance to bring home the season championship, the first time they've ran this late night series. And I'm intrigued what we're going to see. We've seen some great racing from all these drivers. Jason Garner saying that he's familiar with accidentally having too many fast repairs, a little bit of server setup snafu. Good to see Gardner out here, one of our favorite oval racers as well in all the series that he runs. And always a pleasure driving against Gardner as well. When I'm not in the broadcast booth, I occasionally find myself out on track. As I've got to say, I'm a little excited and a little bit bummed about all the off seasons coming up. But one thing that is for certain, even when I'm not broadcasting during these off seasons, I'm going to be out on track with all these different guys, turning hot laps myself, because I know and they know nobody wants to get beat by the broadcaster. Just a few more seconds, and we're going to get ready to grid them up, send them back out. as this will be the final time of the season that these drivers go out at Chicagoland. And let's go ahead and look at the grid for the final time this season. Starting on pole in the number 7 Arcadia Motorsports backed machine, number 1 spot Jeff Paisley. Bill Stringfellow in the 38 starting 2nd. Dakota Camper number 3 starting 3rd. Brett Grunwald in the number 5 starting 4th. Chris Reese in the 62 machine starting 5th. Garrett Kinder in the 13 starting 6th. Kyle Roberts in the 35 starting 7th. Matt Telder in the 02 starting 8th. Michael Morrison in the 21 starting 9th. William Griffith Jr. in the number 12 will be starting 10th on tonight's grid. Charlie Gage Jr. in the 55 starting 11th. Josh Oswald in the 17 machine starting 12th. And then to round out our field, you've got Jason Lawridge in the 48 starting 13th. Eddie Smith in the 87 starting at the back of the pack, 14th to round out our grid. It looks like Eddie will make his way out onto the track to try and dethrone some of these drivers, as I am excited to see what's going to happen here as we get the party rolling forward. The final time, the Late Night Rebels season finale, 115 laps at Chicagoland. The cookie cutter 1.5 miler back in action. And it'll be Paisley and Stringfellow on the front row. Dakota Camper, Brett Grunwald, your 2nd row. Reese and Kinder, your 3rd row. A bittersweet moment for all of our drivers, the final opening lap of the season. But let's see who's going to bring home the top spot. Will it be Paisley, Camper, Kinder, or Oswald? Those are the 4 drivers you have to keep an eye out on. But they're going to be surrounded by a bunch of drivers that are here to race and race hard, looking for a win. And then Camper has a blinking issue early on tonight. Hopefully the number 3 machine can get that addressed, as it is a field of Chevrolets in the top 5. You have to go back to 6th to Garrett Kinder. That's our fastest Ford in qualifying. Pace car comes in. Let's get this party started here in Chicagoland. Our flagman putting in work for the final first start of the season. Here we go. Late Night Rebel Chicagoland season finale. It is ready to go. Immediately Paisley with a great launch, getting pushed from Dakota Camper. Stringfellow on the outside line. He's got the support from Brett Grunwald, trying to get that outside line formed up quickly. Camper still on the inside line, all by his lonesome. He's going to lose ground to both Paisley and Camper here, and possibly Grunwald, who's working the outside line. Now Stringfellow goes the inside line, and the 2 Arcadia Motorsports drivers of Brett Grunwald and Jeff Paisley are going to work in tandem on the outside line, try and get linked up together and bring home a team championship here today. So we're going to stack them up 2 wide, 2 rows deep out front. Garrett Kinder trying to get up in the mix as well. The number 13 machine. Oh, look at that. Camper with a big moment. Sends it sliding down the apron, rejoins, able to get back out on track safely. And now things are going to shake up in the top 3. It's Paisley, Stringfellow, Grunwald, Kinder, Camper, your top 5. But keep an eye on Paisley and Grunwald on the outside line. 2 teammates that are going to work together as Paisley clicks off the fastest. No, it is not the fastest lap of the race. This going to belong to Eddie Smith back in 11th. He clicks off at 30.59. Maybe able to focus on good, hard racing and charging forward instead of battling for position. And that can yield some faster lap times for some of these drivers. Paisley looks like he's thinking to go back down the inside groove. Grunwald not quite in tow. There we go. He's going to get linked up with his teammate Jeff Paisley just ahead of Stringfellow and Kinder. And now it's Camper the fastest lap at 30.41. And once again, two rows wide, 2 rows deep behind Jeff Paisley. As now it'll be Stringfellow on the inside line, all by his lonesome. But here comes the number 17 of Josh Oswald, another championship contender who's trying to get up front and do so early. As now you've got 2 chase competitors running 1st and 2nd. Garrett Kinder, Jeff Paisley out front running 1 and 2, about 0.2 of a second separating these 2 drivers. as they will link up nose to tail. Here comes Dakota Camper in fourth place, another finale driver. He's going to try and get in the mix as well. Now a little bit of a smaller field here tonight, only 14 drivers making their way out on track, but that's been kind of the norm for every series we broadcast. Will take over the race lead just ahead of Paisley, but Paisley's not going to let him get far, stalking that number 13 Ford Mustang as close as he can and trying to work with Grunwald in that two-car tandem to push those team cars forward and maybe secure a championship for Arcadia Motorsports. But Garrett Kinder, he's up 5 spots here tonight, not having any big worries or issues with Reaper Racing. Getting a good, solid launch and trying to capitalize early, valuing that track position more so than the tires. Just trying to keep the hard battling behind them. Camper looking at the inside line against Paisley and tucking in behind Kinder early on into the time. We're only 8 laps in and we've seen some fantastic racing. But if this thing goes green, are we going to see a dark horse in the middle or back of the pack? That nose tire saving like the back of his hand. And may see one of those drivers start blitzing through the field as everybody charges hard now, but that may wear out the tires a little bit prematurely. Up front, it's still Kinder and Paisley nose to tail as we watch Camper and Stringfellow try and link up nose to tail as well to check up and get a little bit closer. These guys are battling very hard. It looks like Grunewald drops down the inside line just ahead of Stringfellow. Not sure if he got loose there in the number 5 machine or something else may have happened. Everybody trying to find a partner to work with here in the draft. We got our friend No Next saying, once you get to the playoffs, half the field opts to stay home to work on next season. Yes, but then you've got the 4 drivers out here for the championship, and you've also got the guys that just love to race, and those are probably some of my favorite guys to watch out here week in and week out, as now Dakota Camper is going to try and battle for second with Jeff Paisley. Running the inside line, Camper in that silver and bright orange number 3 machine, Paisley in the black and blue number 7. Camper will take over second place on this lap, but will Paisley have the momentum going into turns 1 and 2? Kinder has about a 0.3 second advantage over Jeff Paisley and Camper, who are going side by side down the back stretch. If you're on board with Dakota Camper in the number 3 machine, showing what it takes to run nice and tight amongst these competitors. As now it is Kinder, Paisley, Camper, Reese, Telder, your top 5. All of our playoff drivers, except for Josh Oswald here in the top 3. But that's what we were talking about early on. Tire savings can be a big factor for these guys. And you may see somebody else coming up through the field. Jeff Paisley, he's going to put the pressure on Garrett Kinder here. And Camper is not going to let these drivers get too far away. Less than 2 seconds separates almost the majority of the field here. So everybody running nice and tight early on, and now the tire wear will start to slowly become a factor, as already these drivers are about 7/10 off their fastest lap times of the evening. As your top 3, Kinder, Paisley, Camper, all running nose to tail, and here we go. Paisley took a jab at Kinder, not able to quite make it secure, and that may allow Camper to pick up second place coming through the tri-oval. These guys are battling very, very hard. Garrett Kinder has a chance to breathe, now 6/10 ahead of Dakota Camper, Jeff Paisley, Chris Reese, Bill Stringfield, and Matt Telder all in the mix here. As we go back to Reese, he's in the middle of this 5-car battle. This is second place through 6 that you see on the screen right now. And the more these drivers battle side by side, the more it is going to allow Garrett Kinder to extend his gap over Dakota Camper. As Paisley and Camper have linked up nose to tail, Reese tries to get back in formation as Telder and Stringfellow are going to work together. Current hard charger, though, is your race leader, Garrett Kinder. He's up 5 spots early on into this main event as he wants to win the championship and do so soundly. Oh, here comes Reese. He's trying to make a move on Paisley. And he may be able to do it as he has the draft support of both Telder and Stringfellow here. Paisley on the inside line. No draft partners to work with as of yet, but he's going to make Reese earn it hard. As you're watching the 4-car battle for third, they're about a half second behind Dakota Camper and about 1.3 seconds back from your race leader as we are briefly going 2 wide, 2 rows deep. Everybody trying to find a way through here. Paisley and Reese still side by side. Telder and Stringfellow still running the outside line together. And behind them, an absolute conglomerate of drivers. Josh Oswald, Eddie Smith, William Griffith, Roberts, Lottridge, Gates, Morrison, all in the mix here. Battling for that 8th to 14th spot. Doesn't matter where you're out on track. Things are exciting unless you're Garrett Kinder out front. He's got about a half second over Dakota Camper, and Camper has almost 7/10 over Chris Reese. So your race leader is able to focus out front, maybe start developing a plan for tire and fuel management. As they know from about 3rd place back, things are all sorts of out of control. Chris Reese now in the 3rd place spot. Matt Telder, Bill Stringfellow still linked up. Paisley has dropped back to 6th. Oh man, the pack is wild here today. Gonna be interesting to see how things shape up. As we're watching Stringfellow and Reese link up nose to tail. As now things are getting a little bit exciting all over the field. Brett Grunwald, Jeff Paisley going side by side, the 2 teammates. Paisley knows that he has to beat everybody out on track as it is Garrett Kinder out front. And he is in this chase contention here today. So a lot of the guys are going to have to work cut out. Garrett Kinder, Dakota Camper running 1st and 2nd, 2 chase playoff drivers. Paisley in 6th, also in the playoff, and Oswald in 9th. The finalist here. But again, if we get that green flag run, you could see Oswald cut through the field here if he can keep the tire game at the forefront of his mind. Now it is a 100% fuel allotment for these drivers, so they should be able to stretch their legs relatively well. And possibly even make it a one-stop race for these competitors. check in on Bill Stringfellow. He is third on track in that number 38 machine. He's about 3/10 ahead of Matt Telder. But keep an eye out on Paisley, who's trying to cut back through the field. He is now 6th on track, down 5 spots from where he started. But again, these guys are very experienced and they're very smart. Paisley might have seen that it looks like a green flag race is forming up as we are in the final race. These are the best of the best, the drivers that are either in the championship or very consistent and just love racing with the original Rebel Racing family. So that could indicate a little bit cleaner racing. I say could because we don't want to hit it with a commentator's curse so early on into today's main event. As look at this, Matt Telder and Stringfellow also linked up. This will be the battle for third. Telder up 4 spots in the O2 machine. Stringfellow only down 1 spot. But the big question tonight is, will Garrett Kinder have tire management in his back pocket? Is he still leading by about 0.6 of a second? But if Dakota Camper catches up to that number 13 machine, you may see those drivers start pushing very, very hard. And if these guys start racing too hard, that will burn up the tires and slow the pace down and allow this massive pack from 3rd to 7th place an opportunity to catch up and possibly interject themselves into the championship contention. And that is the last thing that Kinder or Camper is going to want here. They want to keep this thing clean and green, keep tire management at the forefront, and try and maybe battle later on in the race after we get through a green flag stop. Another notable battle out on track, Josh Oswald, William Griffith running nose to tail as well. That'll be the battle for 10th. As now Jason Lottridge also trying to get his nose of the 48 Ford Mustang in the mix as well. Lottridge up 1 spot early on. Still have all 14 drivers cruising on track. No problems as of yet. As it looks like Lottridge putting the pressure on Oswald. Not sure if Oswald falling off the pace here, or maybe he's one of those drivers really focusing on tire wear. Back up front, it's Telder, Paisley, Reese running nose to tail. As Michael Morrison comes down pit road early in the number 21 machine. Not sure if he has a problem or what may be going on out of that Chevrolet. As Paisley and that's going to be Telder going side by side. And now it's going to be a 3-car battle as Chris Reese also in the mix. Paisley gets around Telder. And let's see if Reese can capitalize as well in the 62 machine. Here comes Reese up the inside line. Stringfellow still comfortably in 3rd. He's about a second ahead of this battle. But if these 3 drivers start working together, Stringfellow's kind of by himself in no man's land as far as the draft goes. So it'll decide on who's willing to settle here. Michael Morrison comes back down pit road. I'm wondering if he's got something wrong with that car out here today. So Paisley has worked his way back into fourth. He is up, or excuse me, still down 3 spots from where he originally started. But is this going to be a tire wear game? It's looking like it. We've gone 34 laps green. That's already one of the best starts we've had to the season. As Paisley's trying to whittle away at the 8th, almost 9/10 gap that Bill Stringfellow currently has on this pack in 4th place. Paisley's going to hope that Telder and Reese hook up with him and start cutting through the air just a little bit cleaner. It's still Kinder out front. He's got about 6/10 over Dakota Camper, and Camper has about 1.5 seconds over the 3rd place driver, Bill Stringfellow. As you're on board with Jeff Paisley, that is what a 1-second gap looks like here at Chicagoland. The 1.5-mile raceway that was decided to wrap up the championship. Paisley still has Telder and Reese close in tow. Are these guys going to battle for that 4th place spot? Or are they going to work together to try and catch up to Stringfellow? Garrett Kinder having a dominant performance so far here today. He's still about 0.05 of a second faster than Camper or Stringfellow on lap time that last time by. And here we go. They're going to battle once more for 4th. So that answers the question, will they link up and work together? That will be a resounding no from our drivers. As they will continue battling for that 4th place spot. That has allowed Stringfellow to extend that gap up 0.3 of a second, now 1.2 seconds ahead of this pack of 4th place drivers. And up front, it looks like Camper is catching up to Kinder. That last time by, Camper was 0.2 faster than the number 13 Ford Mustang. And soon, Kinder will have the luxury of being the race leader, the first driver that will be cutting through lap traffic here today. I believe that will be Michael Morrison, number 21 machine, just ahead of your race leader, the number 13 Garrett Kinder. As you're on board, Kinder, just at the end of the straightaway here, about a straightaway ahead of number 13 machine. It's lap traffic, so Kinder will have a little bit of time to watch, wait, see what traffic is doing, and set up a very smooth and clean pass. The last thing he wants to do is throw away a possible championship run, battling for a position that doesn't truly matter on track. So he will wait and choose when his opportunity is. Now, if he waits too long, that will allow Camper an opportunity to strike. But as Camper and Kinder are extending the lead over Bill Stringfellow, I would imagine they're going to wait, extend that lead, get through a green flag stop, and maybe wait till later on the run to battle it out. And still the battle for 4th has all but shaken out. But look at this, Eddie Smith charging through the field here. He is up to 8th spot, up 6 spots from where he started the number 87 machine. And now he is right behind Brett Grunwald. But again, I've got to wonder, is anybody going to work together and get up towards the front? Are we just going to see racing all across the pack? As Kinder and Camper still extending that gap out front. They're running about 0.3 of a second apart here. As we're getting ready to approach the halfway mark of the night, will these drivers be able to make it a one-stop race? Or are we going to see a little bit of different strategy come into play for the guys? As I've got to say, one of my favorite things to do is watch good green flag racing. allows these drivers to show their skills on the track, shows the short run drivers, the long run drivers, as well as who may be having the best strategy with their crew chiefs on pit road to make sure they're in the best position possible to bring home a win. Right now, drivers are about 2 seconds off their fastest lap of the race, late into the run, 44 laps on these set of tires. But now the question remains, who will be the first driver to come down pit road, as Kendrick Camper still 2.5 seconds ahead of Bill Stringfellow. But this is the closest the gap has been late in the run. Now we know Camper's pretty comfortable on long runs. Is Kendrick going to be able to do the same? Neither driver wanting to show their hand too early here. I doubt Camper is going to set up a pass yet. He's going to be watching, taking as much data as he can from Kendrick to see what lines he's running, especially as the runs progress, and maybe see if he can get a judge of how Kendrick's tire management is. Lottridge in the 48 Mustang, he'll be one of the first drivers to come in for a green flag stop. Charlie Gates Jr., also in a Mustang, number 55 driver, will follow in tow. Kyle Roberts also comes down pit road. Now, to make it a one-stop race, Kender and Camper will have to stretch it out almost to lap 58 here today. As we check in on William Griffith, the number 12 machine, comfortably running 9th. Still a 3-car battle for 4th, Matt Telder. Chris Reese, Jeff Paisley can't get away from each other here. Still battling back and forth. They're about 2 seconds back from 3rd place Stringfellow. Because again, if these drivers linked up nose to tail, they would quickly catch Stringfellow. As we've got another driver coming down, or coming out of pit road. I believe that's going to be Kyle Roberts, number 35 machine. It is. Who will go a lap down after that green flag cycle, as he came in a lap 45. We're watching to see, is Reese going to stay behind Telder and try and whittle away at the 2.4 second gap that Stringfellow has? Or are we going to continue good, hard battling across the track? Now again, as a reminder to our fans at home that may just be tuned in, Garrett Kender, Dakota Camper, Jeff Paisley, and Josh Oswald are the final 4 contenders for this championship. And right now it's Garrett Kender out front. He is in a good shot here, but he's got to keep an eye out as Dakota Camper is very fast and very good on long run pacing. It'll be interesting to see how things shake up here. Cycling back up front, it's still Kender and Camper running 1 and 2. Less than 2/10 separate these championship drivers, and again, they have to make it to lap 58 if they're going to try and one-stop the race here today. Now, if they have to back off slightly to maintain that fuel window, they are still looking good, as they are about 2 seconds ahead of Bill Stringfellow, number 38 machine, who is 3rd on track. So not necessarily having to come out and hot lap here today, as they are resoundingly 2 seconds off the fastest lap of the race, but I'd attribute that mostly to tire wear. More wild action back and forth place. Telder and Reese side by side. Paisley, number 7 machine, just looking for an opportunity to get through here, as well as I believe that's going to be lap traffic behind Paisley. Yes, I'm fairly sure that's going to be Kyle Roberts. No, that is, who is that? That's Charlie Gates Jr. following these string of drivers. Gates had one of the earliest pit stops on lap 44, excuse me. as we are getting closer and closer to the halfway mark. Reese and Telder still side by side, just can't get away from each other. And still side by side. This is going to be a little bit dangerous. Nobody wants to see a caution come out this late in the run as Telder and Reese put on a show. Jeff Paisley just looking for a way through. He knows he has to gain about 6 seconds to get up to your race leader and championship leaders, Garrett Kinder, Dakota Camper, that are running 1 and 2 out front. And are we going to see a one-stop strategy here tonight, barring any cautions? Paisley just can't find a way through Telder or Reese here, who will continue to battle side by side, lap after lap in this 4th place position. Man, oh man, these guys are putting on a show. Now, my 2 big questions are, can the guys out there going to try and make it a one-stop race? Can they hit that lap 58 mark on fuel? And furthermore, can they stretch it out a little bit further than that? So that way they have the freshest tires here at the end. Telder and Reese not giving much worry or concern for tires. Continue to run door to door throughout the duration of Chicagoland. 1.5 miles at a time. Neither driver giving each other much of a break here. Griffin, the number 12 machine, he comes down pit road on his 56th lap of the day. As we're going to pan the camera briefly back out front to Kinder and Camper, we are very curious to see how long they're going to stretch out the window. Camper opts to come in on lap 56, as well as Bill Stringfellow. Kinder is going to try and stretch it out to possibly make it a one-stop race. Doing my calculations up here in the booth, it was 57.5 laps, the halfway mark of tonight's main event season finale. But you've also got to account for green-white checker attempts as well if we do get a string of cautions late in the race. Will Kinder come in this time by? Yes, he will. The race leader will come in. I'm guessing Telder will follow in the O2 machine, but he's busy with a heated battle. No, they're going to stay out. Reese, Telder, Paisley opt to stay out here. Will Smith, Grunwald do the same? No. Yeah, Smith stays out. Grunwald comes in, as well as Oswald. So now it'll be Telder or Reese to lead some laps here in Chicagoland. And we're going to go 3 wide here. Kyle Roberts trying to get a lap back in that number 35 machine. Telder holds on to the race lead, but he's got Gates and he's got Roberts trying to get some laps back. As our green flag stops continue, Paisley and Smith come down pit road for their 1 and possibly only stop and dive, but this is where things will get a little bit exciting for our drivers. You've got drivers on mixed skill sets and mixed tire strategies now, all intertwined as some drivers will be leaving the pits trying to get their laps back. As we still wait, Reese comes down pit road with a late pit stop on lap 60. Telder opts to stretch it out as long as he possibly can. Now this is dangerous territory for Garrett Kinder, Jeff Paisley, and the rest of the championship contenders, because if a caution comes out, they will find themselves a lap down. As Brett Grunwald had an off track, we avoid a caution as of yet. And now Telder will come down pit road. That should put Camper as your race leader about a half second ahead of Kyle Roberts and about 1.5 seconds ahead of Garrett Kinder. So Camper came in on lap 56. Kinder came in on 57. This will be very interesting to see who's got the fuel at the very end to make it after holding it wide open for 115 laps here in Chicago. Camper, he's about 1.5 seconds ahead of Kinder after this green flag stop has continued. Now, I'm going from memory here, which is always dangerous, but I believe we only had one, if not two, green flag races so far this season where we went green to checkers without any major incidents. As it looks like all of our drivers got through pit road without any big problems. Everybody taking 4 fresh Goodyears, a full tank of gas to maybe run this thing out till the end. Lottridge has a bit of a bobble. That is going to allow Paisley to make his way by around the 48 machine, as well as Eddie Smith. As you're on board with Lottridge just ahead of him, Eddie Smith clicks off the fastest lap of the race with a 30.36, coming out of pit lane and absolutely screaming in that 87 machine. Now Smith is not out here for the championship. He's just out here to race hard with his friends. As Gates, the number 55 machine, comes back down pit road. Not sure if he maybe had a problem. Or no, I think he is disconnected. He has some sort of issue. Not quite sure what happened to Gates. He had to take a tow back to the pit. Not sure if he maybe has a mechanical, something real life going on that called him away from the racetrack. As we pull up the left side of your screen, that is the current live timing and running order. Yes, Gates has retired. Send it back to the hauler here tonight. As the field getting fairly stretched out, closest battle on track is Eddie Smith. Now worked his way all the way up to 5th. He's about a half second ahead of Jeff Paisley, another playoff contender. As it looks like Kinder finding a little bit of speed here. He's about 1/10 faster than Camper that last time by. Kinder clicked off at 31.09. Camper with a 31.18. And it's just right at a second separating these two drivers. But this is where we're going to see who's got the best strategy to bring it home to the end. As again, I don't think either one of these drivers are going to try and burn up too much rubber battling early on the run. I think they're going to save it till the end and maybe see who's got the best amount of tires. Brett Grunwald, he's putting the pressure on Josh Oswald, a championship contender. The number 17 machine of Oswald, currently 10th on track here today. Another battle out on track, Kyle Roberts, Eddie Smith. Eddie is finding a whole lot of pace here, and he's going to look to the inside line of Roberts. Able to make it stick. Now, Smith is on 13-lap newer tires than Roberts is. But Smith, our current hard charger, is up 10 positions here tonight after not qualifying. As Roberts slowly falling back the running order ever so slightly. Now let's see what Eddie Smith can do now that he's in no man's land, really no draft. And we've got a battle for the lead. We're going to pan to Garrett Kinder. As Camper he did have a moment. Camper goes off track, excuse me. Let's take a look and see what happened to Dakota Camper, number 3 machine. Tags the outside wall aggressively, almost throws away a race and possibly a championship as the live timing screen breaks at the most inopportune time. But that could have been the race and possibly the championship. With just one single bobble, that's all it takes to throw away a night, especially once you have aero damage on the side of your machine. As we get things pulled back up here. And we have broken some software, it appears. Cannot believe it. That could possibly be the championship for Camper. Just that one bobble to the outside wall, as now he's going to be about 9/10 of a second back from Kinder, your race leader. As we're trying to get an eye on the right side of the number 3 machine to see if he has any sort of substantial damage, as he looks to be losing the pace here. The car doesn't look too bad, all things considered. Maybe a little bit of back right damage on the number 3 machine. But he's got to stay focused, focus on his marks, and try and just keep the momentum and keep the tire wear underneath him. But that big slide across the infield will not do any favors for Camper, the number 3 machine. Robertson, 35, comes back down pit road. Only about 40 laps remaining for our drivers. As we know, Kinder and Camper should be able to make it till the end on fuel, but that is a big emphasis on should out here today. As we pan back to your race leader, Garrett Kinder, cutting through traffic, not having any too big problems or worries here. Still about 9/10 ahead of Dakota Camper. As the field fairly stretched out here, Eddie Smith making ground, trying to catch back up to 3rd place Bill Stringfellow. As it looks like Oswald is going to be catching up to Jason Lottridge in the 48 machine. Lottridge running high, Oswald running the middle groove here. Looks like Oswald's going to make it stick, but no, Lottridge is going to answer, carrying a little bit more speed around the higher portion of the banking. As here comes Kyle Roberts as well after his final pit stop of the night, cutting through traffic. Now let's see if Oswald's going to take another shot at Lottridge or be content holding behind the number 48 Ford Mustang driver. Michael Morrison comes down pit road as well. Garrett Kinder, he is losing a little bit of ground here. Dakota Camper has got back within 7/10 of a second. It was over a second at one point after Camper had that big moment. Thankfully able to hold on to it, but this will be the battle between the top 2 running championship contenders out on track. It's going to be interesting. Kinder still holding on to about a 3/4 second advantage over Camper, but this will absolutely come down to the end of this run to see who's got the best tires underneath them. As it looks like Kinder's still holding off Camper. Cycle it back in the field. Grunwald, now he's battling with Lottridge as well. Oswald has taken over 8th place. And it's going to be interesting to see because, again, it's Kinder, Camper, Jeff Paisley, and Josh Oswald all in contention here. We've had a good green flag night so far, but now tight cars and driver attrition will play a factor. So especially as from about 9th place back, the guys start battling, they will not have the rubber left in the cars to make any big moves or any big jabs at their competition. And any single mistake can really cost these guys. I mean, we saw Dakota Camper, your race leader, have a moment all by himself, tag the outside wall. And that almost brought out a caution about 10 laps ago. As Camper getting closer and closer to Kinder, now about 6/10 off that number 13 machine. But this is going to be interesting. I mean, we've got 30 laps left to go for these drivers. Both Kinder and Camper on extremely similar tire strategies here, and less than 7/10 of a second separate them. I'm wondering if Camper maybe wants to hang back a little bit, avoid getting the aero wash off that number 13 of Garrett Kinder, and prevent the car from tying up. A lot of strategy coming into play here late in the race for this season finale. As Kinder will be looking for his second win of the season to lock up the championship. Camper, if he can pull it off to win the championship, this will be his 4th win of the night. And Jeff Paisley as well, still looking for his first win, but he's going to have a long road ahead of him as he is about 7 seconds back from, almost 8 seconds back from your race leaders. And right now, it looks like we have a fairly good chance of going green till the end. I'm still carefully choosing my words because the commentator's curse, it strikes hard and it strikes quick for our drivers. As look at this, Eddie Smith has caught back up to Bill Stringfellow. He's trying to make it 11 spots gained in that number 87 machine to put himself up on the podium. And here's the battle for third. Eddie Smith, Bill Stringfellow going to go hard at it here. Smith looks at the outside line, Stringfellow on the inside line. Meanwhile, you've got Grunwald and Lottridge battling for 9th as well, just inside the top 10. A drag race here at Chicagoland. Eddie tries the outside line, gets a nose ahead of Stringfellow, who's going to carry the most amount of momentum here through the tri-oval. At the line, it's going to be Smith by 9/100ths of a second. Will he get clear of Stringfellow? It looks like he will. So now Smith up into podium contention for the first time here today in that number 87 Chevrolet. He's up 11 spots and down about 6.3 seconds from your race leader. We'll cycle it back to 10th place. A still heated battle, a 3-car battle for the top 9th spot is Grunwald, Lottridge, and Telder. 3 drivers that have not been able to get away from each other throughout the duration of tonight's event. running nose to tail, side to side, almost 3 wide in several moments here. Ooh, Lotridge tags the outside wall, rides the camera, pans to him. That may allow Telder to squeeze through on the inside line, coming through the tri-oval. I believe he will. And now Telder will take over the 10th place spot from Jason Lotridge. After Lotridge may have to be careful here to avoid cutting a tire in that number 48 machine. Ooh, another big moment out of Lotridge. Able to hold on to it, and now he will slot in behind Telder, who is trying to catch up to Grunwald, who found himself now with a half-second advantage up front. And still Garrett Kinder. He's got about 7/10 advantage over Dakota Camper. And Camper has about a 5.5-second advantage over Eddie Smith, who has been absolutely blitzing through the field here today after not qualifying. But at the very front, that is going to be your battle for the championship, and they're going to have lap traffic ahead of them. And that is lap traffic that is battling extremely hard. William Griffith Jr. comes in for a final stop with 24 laps left to go in his number 12 Ford Mustang. Maybe looking at the fuel window and realizing it's going to be a little bit tight. Now, who's not going to be willing to come in early is either Kinder or Camper. Both drivers are going to try and stretch it out on fuel here tonight in the season finale. Griffith makes his way out of pit road. Lotridge also comes in, the number 48 machine, for a final stop. 22 laps left to go. Kinder extends his lead over Camper to about a second, but Camper immediately responds, getting it back down to about 8/10 here. Both drivers clicking off mid 32-second lap times. And now Paisley is going to work his way back into fourth ahead of Bill Stringfellow. Stringfellow seems to have fallen off the pace slightly. His last time by, Paisley was about 2/10 faster than the driver of the number 38 machine. So Paisley working his way back into fourth. He's going to be about 3 seconds behind Eddie Smith, who's been on rails, the number 87 machine, as well as a battle for eighth on track between Matt Telder and Brett Grunwald. These drivers just can't get away from each other tonight. I am most intrigued, though, to see if Camper will be able to catch up to Kinder, who still holds a 6/10, almost a 7/10 advantage over that number 3 driver. After, again, Camper had that big single car incident, tagged the outside wall, went careening through the infield, but held on to it. $19 laps left to go here at the season finale of the original Rebel Racing Late Night Rebel Series. And let's see if our top 9 drivers will be able to pull off that one-stop strategy here today, or if they're going to find themselves running on fumes as this race draws to a close. It's still Kinder out front, looking good to possibly bring home the championship as well as the win here today at Chicagoland. But he knows Dakota Camper is good on tires. But how will that aero damage affect the number 3 machine? Kinder, the lone Ford in a sea of Chevrolets inside the top 10. Still holding about an 8/10 advantage over Camper. His last time by a 32.42. Camper with a 32.4. So both drivers running almost identical lap times here. It'll be a game to see if Kinder can navigate traffic the cleanest and avoid any problems or woes. As now Kinder has extended his gap to over a second for the first time in the last 20 laps. Camper was about 2.5 tenths off Kinder. I wonder what's going on with Camper. Bill Stringfellow comes in for the final time. I wonder if the number 38 machine was looking like he was going to be short on fuel. I wonder if Camper may be in prime time fuel saving mode here, as I want to say he came in one lap earlier than Kinder. Camper has heavily backed off the pace. Eddie Smith is seeing what's going on in front of him and gaining about 2 tenths on that number 3 machine each and every time. With only 13 laps left to go, this may very well end up being a fuel mileage race at the very end. As last time by, Camper with a 32.64, Kinder also with a 32.62, so the pace is about the same. Meanwhile, Eddie Smith and 87 machine still hammering down. He clicked off a 32.24 late in the run. As Camper makes his way through traffic, that's going to be Grunwald, the number 5 machine, who goes a lap down to the second place driver. 11 laps left to go. 1.7 seconds separates your race leader, Garrett Kinder, from Dakota Camper. And another 1.8 separates Camper from Smith. Now, I know Camper is probably in fuel-saving mode here, but that may be all for naught if Smith gets around him. As right now, it is a must-win situation for Dakota Camper. He's got to count on Kinder maybe running out of fuel here to have a shot at the championship. This race could very well be won on pit road, as Eddie Smith is getting closer and closer to Camper as well, down to 1.2 seconds from the third place driver Eddie Smith to second place Dakota Camper. All these drivers continuing lap traffic, able to cut through nice and clean. That was Brett Grunwald, and now it'll be, I believe, Lottridge just ahead of the number 87 machine. And now it is less than a second between Eddie Smith and Dakota Camper. Camper has really backed down on the pace. I am fairly certain he is in prime time fuel saving mode here, as Eddie Smith is having no worries. He's charging through the field. He was almost a half second faster than Camper that last time by. 8 laps left to go. And now Smith is in striking distance of the number 3 machine. I wonder if Camper may tuck in behind Smith here, use that draft of another fast driver and pull his way up to the front, as now they're about 2.5, 2.6 seconds behind Garrett Kinder. Will Kinder be able to hold on to it with fuel, or is he going to be sputtering to the end? He does not show signs of backing off too much here. Looks like Camper will yield the inside line to Smith. Smith will take over second place from Camper. And I think you may see Camper link up to the back bumper of that number 87 machine to try and get himself a toe to the front. But only 6 laps left to go. He's got to be hoping and praying that Kinder is going to run short on fuel, as it is a 2-second gap from Smith and Camper up to first place Garrett Kinder. But that last time by, Smith was about 4/10 faster than your race leader. 6 laps left to go. Now it's 1.8 seconds with 5 laps left to go. Are we going to see Smith give a toe to Camper? Camper can't quite hold on. He's about a half second back from Smith. Lawridge comes down pit road and I think has retired back to the hauler here today. So that's Lawridge, Stringfellow, and Gates, who appear to have parked it for the night. 4 laps left to go. Garrett Kinder looking in a good spot here to bring home a championship, but he's got to worry that Smith will maybe give a toe to Camper. Now, Kinder does not have to win tonight to bring home the championship, just has to finish ahead of Camper, Paisley, or Oswald. As it is Kinder out front, Camper third, Paisley fourth, and Oswald sixth out on track. But the question is, with 3 laps left to go, will Kinder make it till the end on fuel? It is going to be really tight out of the 13 machine. He's got about a 1.4 second gap over Eddie Smith and about a 2.3 second gap over Dakota Camper. So if Kinder can just hold on to it today and not run out of gas, he is in a very likely opportunity to win the championship for the first season of the Late Night Series here at Original Rebel Racing League. Two laps left to go. Kinder just has to make his way by and keep that thing going. He's about 2.6 seconds ahead of the other Final Four driver, Dakota Camper. White flag will fly this time by for Kinder in the 13 machine. He's got a little bit of lap traffic, but I'd imagine he's going to hang back and not push here. The white flag flies for the final time of the season. Garrett Kinder just has to sputter around the racetrack one final time, and he will be your season champion. Kinder will be behind Telder and Oswald, but he does not have to push hard at all. In fact, he needs to not push, just make it to the line under his own power, and he will do so. Ladies and gentlemen, Garrett Kinder and the number 13 machine will be your Late Night Series champion after picking up the final win here at Chicagoland. Eddie Smith gets second, Dakota Camper third. As I can't imagine that Kinder has a lot of fuel left here. What a great race. Kinder's going to try and burn it down, using up every ounce of fuel he has left. There can't be much in the tank of that number 13 Ford Mustang. As our flagman watches on, Garrett Kinder smoking it down in style, but he's got some friends coming up. I believe that was going to be Oswald, number 17 machine, that punts your race leader. And then in typical fashion, we give him the old brouhaha as Garrett Kinder will be our championship here, our champion winner here today. Up first, we've got Dakota Camper joining us third overall tonight, second in the championship. Now, Dakota, I know you got to be a little bit bummed out right now, but all in all, a fantastic season out of that number 3 machine and a great race here tonight in the season finale.
Yeah, it was a great race, a great job by everybody that was running tonight to go caution free. Don't get that a lot, and that was a lot of fun trying to figure out how to get around Kinder, and then kind of lost it once I did.
Now, Camper, we saw that big moment you had. I believe it was out of turn 4 where you tagged the outside wall and then sent it careening through the infield, and you were very close to bringing out the one and only caution. But I guess a two-part question. What happened, and how did that affect the long-run ability of that Chevrolet out there?
Well, it definitely affected the long run because I had some right front damage, so that it was definitely some aero issues. But man, Garrett, I pitted a lap before him and had him by about a second or so, and he run me down. And as he was catching me, I was just trying to take his line away and try and keep him in that dirty air. Maybe he'd burn up his right front, but as soon as I moved down to try and stay in front of him, it just took all the air off my spoiler and it got me loose and in tight, and I was off the throttle and in the throttle trying my best to keep it off the wall, but it just shot straight right into the wall.
Well, still a spectacular save, almost as strong as your season we had this season. It was a lot of fun watching you guys get faster and faster, and some really great racing as the season went on. And again, I think that was maybe our second race of the season. We went green all the way through. So, I mean, you've got to be proud. All the drivers have to be proud. I know I'm proud of all the knuckleheads out here. Dakota, before I let you sign off for the final time of this season, who would you like to give a shout out to, my friend?
Yeah, first and foremost, got to give a big shout out to my teammate Bill Stringfellow, who was in my ear all night trying to give me encouragement, trying to stay up there and run down Kinder. And just all of his help on, just learning lines, and he helps me get faster. Definitely got to thank Unchained Motorcycle Ministry. They do great things in our region. Just a big shout out to Jeremy and Chastity Monk, who run that organization. And just appreciate you. Great broadcasts, and just all my friends and family that watch me on my Twitch channel. So appreciate you, and it's been good running this season and talking to you just about every week.
Glad to have you, Dakota, for the final time this season. Go ahead and plug that Twitch channel for us so our viewers at home can maybe follow you during the off season.
Yeah, throttle_up. So if you want to go and stream this race, streamed every Original Rebels late night race this season, so they should all be on there, and appreciate anybody that comes and gives me a follow.
Well, awesome, Dakota. Congratulations on a great season, a great run tonight, and we look forward to seeing you in the coming seasons, my friend.
Thank you, bud. I'm looking forward to the faster cars next season.
Thank you as well, my friend. That was Dakota Camper bringing home a third. Up next, we've got the ringer Eddie Smith, the number 87 machine, up 12 spots in the Bass Pro-backed Chevrolet. Eddie, it seemed like you had a lot of fun not qualifying and then maybe ruining some guys' nights, just blowing past everybody there at the end.
Yeah, I don't know. It was fun. Just wasn't planning on racing. Got kind of talked into it. Peer pressure got me, and so jumped in and didn't really want to get into the battle. And I'm glad it went green flag all the way. That way I could just kind of run my race. And there at the end, guys were saving. I didn't need to save. I'd made my fuel, so I was just having fun, going as hard as I could. See if I could run down Kinder for the win.
Well, it looked like a lot of fun out there in the 87 machine, a lot of great racing, and it seemed like one of the best races we've seen all night. Do you think that could be attributed to drivers getting more used to each other, or what do you think led to that clean green flag race we saw here today?
Yeah, I don't know. I think in the playoffs, people are going to give the playoff drivers a lot of room, so it's not, guys are just being more patient and smarter around each other. and smaller field I think helps as well. So, but then congratulations to Kinder. Just want to say congratulations on his championship, first asphalt championship. So, congratulations to him.
Well, great job out there tonight. Always a pleasure having you up here in the broadcast booth when you do decide to race, and a lot of fun watching that 87 machine fly around the track. Eddie, before we sign off for the final time of the season, who would you like to give a shout out to that's cheering you on?
Nothing. I mean, JC Motorsports, always want to thank them for all they do, but definitely want to thank the Rebels guys and you, Griff, Josh Oswald, Garrett Kinder, Brandon, Matt Clemon, David Jones, Tyler Gatke, Jonah Colbert. I mean, the list goes on and on of guys who contribute and make this league awesome. So, thank them.
Well, awesome. Eddie, thank you as always for your time, and looking forward to seeing you back out here next season, my friend.
See you, James.
And up next, ladies and gentlemen, the man of the hour, Garrett Kinder, wins tonight the season finale, as well as locks up a championship. Kinder, did you expect to be here at the end of the night?
Man, Chicagoland's a good track for me, but I knew that there's a lot of guys out here that could run this track really well, so it was kind of a toss-up. But man, I'm tickled to be here. That's for damn sure.
Now, Garrett, how close were you on fuel at the very end? I believe you came in 1 or 2 laps later than Camper did. Was it close there at the finish line?
I had 1.4 gallons left when I took the checker
that's
flag.
tons of gas. You were doing great then.
Yeah, I was correction. 1.4 laps left. It was like 0.7 gallons.
That's plenty. Yeah, we were expecting to come across sputtering and choking on it, but great run out there. Now, coming into tonight, did you expect this race to go green from start to checkers, or what were you expecting in the season finale?
Man, it really depended on the field size a lot. We didn't get just a whole lot of guys out here tonight, so I'd kind of planned for long run speed, having 14 drivers in the field. It just kind of worked out. I was talking to a couple guys saying that, you can run, full speed, never lift for the first few laps. I tried my best just to never do that, just try and save and baby that right front a little bit. It worked out really well, and then there towards the end, the fuel saving. Luckily, whenever you're saving fuel, you also kind of end up saving that right front a little bit. So it was really nice. I thought the setup felt pretty good. It got a little tight long run, but that's to be expected. But, yeah, man, the green flag racing, you can't beat it. I mean, a little bit of strategy plays out. Dakota was putting pressure on me for pretty much the whole race. Eddie snuck up there, and I was talking to him over voice comm saying, Eddie, don't you do it. Don't you come up here and steal this from me. But, man, it was a good time, that's for sure.
Well, it looked like a lot of fun, making that number 13 machine look nice and quick for all the season and able to cap it off in style. We're going to throw you off your rhythm here. Now, we know you're sponsored by Kinder Farm and Ranch. What is your favorite tractor brand?
If it ain't green, it's just wrong, man. John Deere all the way. That's the only way to go.
Well, I'll still be your friend, even though I'm a Massey Ferguson kind of guy, but always great seeing you do well out there. Now, Kinder, for the final time this season, and most importantly, the most important time as you lock up the championship, who would you like to give a shout out to? Friends, family, sponsors, the floor is all yours, my friend.
Well, James, you switched up on me. I'm going to switch up on you. First time out of the back, I want to thank you for broadcasting this series for us. You've done a phenomenal job for us, and really appreciate having you up in the booth. And now I'll get into my normal spiel. Got to thank Kinder Farm and Ranch for sponsoring me. Got to love having family on board. Ratchet Speed Shop, Big Frig Coolers. If you want the best coolers, keep your stuff cold, keep your stuff hot for cheaper and for longer than anybody else. Go hit up bigfrigcoolers.com. Cross 5 Cattle Coolers for all you ranchers out there. If you need some vaccination coolers, if you're having trouble keeping your medicines cold, look them up. They're also through Big Frig, but Cross 5 Cattle Coolers. And then, of course, buddy Ray Page owns Wolfpack Racing. Got a big shout out to him. He's opened up a few doors for me and introduced me to some pretty neat people throughout this iRacing stuff. So big shout out to him. Shout out to Griff, man, running this league. Everybody that was in the championship ran a phenomenal race. Green flag all the way through. You can't beat it. Big shout out to Dakota. Like I said, he was the pressure was on all night. I never really got a chance to take too much of a breath. I was always had that relative clicked over and was trying to manage a gap a little bit. So big shout out to him and just everybody over here at Rebels, man. This late night series, it's something that's pretty cool. We originally made it for these West Coast guys. Of course, I'm a Central Time Zone guy, so it's getting pretty late for me over here. But everybody that ran this series throughout the season, just thank you all for making it what it was throughout the entire season. It was an absolute blast.
Garrett, well said, my friend. Congratulations on the final win to cap off your championship run. Looking forward to seeing you come back next season, and I look forward to talking to you more in the podium room as well. Congratulations again, man. You definitely earned it, and thank you so much for a great season.
Thank you.
And that will do it, ladies and gentlemen, capping off the season finale of the original Rebel Racing Late Night Series, where Garrett Kinder in the number 13 Ford Mustang both picks up the win here at Chicagoland, the season finale, as well as the championship. It's been a great season amongst all of our friends here, and we got to enjoy some great racing from start to finish. On behalf of the original Rebel Racing League, as well as Team Goon Squad Broadcasting, thank you all so much to our fans from across the world that tuned in each and every week, supported the broadcast, supported your drivers, and supported your favorite league for the final time. Again, thank you all so much for spending your hard-earned time with us. We couldn't do it without you, and we look forward to seeing you next season. Have a great night, everyone. Thank you so much.